All right, so here it is, a quick setup of the Phantom 3. This is going to be kind of the process you're going to go through as we're getting these drones ready for this semester. We want to make sure, starting off at the top, that we look at all four of our propellers. There's two silver, two black. Verify that each of them are installed correctly. They will only go, the silver will only go on the silver, the black will only go on the black. Just make sure that they're tightened on secure and there's not extensive damage that will cause the drone to have poor flight. Check the top case. Moving along, checking both of the landing gear, make sure that they're intact and not broken. Up here in the front, you'll notice that there is a little door. Behind that door is a micro USB. That is for accessing the motherboard there on the Phantom. And then we're going to jump down here to the front side of this and look at the gimbal carriage. And the gimbal carriage has four of these little plastic pins and shock absorbers. Make sure that all four of those are installed so we know that they're working properly. It'll hold our gimbal up and won't let it fall. If you look down here on the gimbal, you could push and release and notice that that is where the SD card is stored. That's for both adding an updated firmware if you need to, as well as saving your images during your drone flights. Let's look back here at the back of the drone. One push gets us how much battery power is on the battery. This one here is a little bit above 50%. We're going to push once, twice, and hold. And now our drone will turn on. Now we are jumping over to the controller. Looking at the controller, there is a button here on the bottom, this little slide power, which is going to slide to the right. It also gives us how much battery is there. This is less than 50% with the solid and the one blinking. And so those change from solid to solid, solid, solid as you get full. And then you'll go from 4 solids to 3 solids and a blinking to 3 solids and so forth as the battery goes down. Now, once you saw that it went from red to green here, this indicator light, once it turns green, then you know you're connected to the drone. Take a look back here on the back. Up here next to the QR code, you can't see it, but there is an SSID and default password for the drone. So you're going to want to look for that SSID here on your Wi-Fi and your phone in just a second. But you can also notice down here there is a number. Some of these drones have already been customized, their SSID, and that's broadcasting a 2. So let's jump to let's see if we can jump to the phone. All right, so let's go into our Wi-Fi settings, and we notice down here there is a number 2 under My Networks. We're going to click on that. It will ask for that default password. It's 12341234. It's on the back of the remote controller. Since I've connected to this drone before, it already has the password. I do want you to look to the right and click that information tab. And I want you to find the toggle. Make sure that it's not, oh, I'm sorry, it's right here at the top. The toggle at the top where it says auto join. We want to make sure I'll toggle it on, toggle it off so you can see it. On and off. We want to make sure that's off. If we have it on auto join and someone else is flying the drone and we happen to be near there, we can create some interference with the Wi-Fi connection. Once we've done that, we're going to jump into DJI Go. So there's the DJI Go app. It knows you're connected. I didn't get to push that button. Sometimes it will want you to go ahead and push the button. Once it pops up, there's going to be some information on here. Now this one here, we'll go ahead and go through this process. It talks about calibrating. So we're going to go ahead and, whoops, hold on. Let's cancel that because it looks like our calibration is normal. So I thought we were getting a warning. I'm going to go ahead and X out of there. So when we look at the screen, this is a great place to start. It says the device Wi-Fi password is weak. I'm not real concerned about that. We don't need to worry about that. If you'll notice, it says in the upper left-hand corner, no positioning. It's in ADI mode. That's because I am indoors right now, and these older drones have very weak GPS transmission data. So don't worry so much about that. What primarily I want you to look at is this. I want you to look at, you see now this strong interference. That's going to be all the computer equipment sitting on my desk. We're going to go back in here to the three dots on the upper right hand corner, and we're going to scroll down to the bottom till we see about. We're going to click about, and we're going to look at the aircraft version. That firmware version is 1.9.20. 1.9.20. Now we are going to jump over to the computer, and you will notice down here we are in the Phantom 3 Standard Download Center, and I will make sure I get these links added to YouTube. Down here at the bottom, we talk about firmware. See here it shows 1.9 and 0.2. That is the latest firmware. If you have to take that down, you can take that down and get it in a zip. And here is the button you click for PDF, and that's going to pop up these firmware update guide. This is going to be a real simple process. The easiest one I think for you to use is the one that's here. And this, it starts one page back. It starts here, and you can see up here it's the Phantom 3. And you can download that zip file. You want to unzip it and take the bin file and place it on an empty SD card. And then we're going to take that SD card and slide it into this slot on our aircraft. With the aircraft turned off, obviously, when we turn the aircraft on, it will then begin and go through its process. You'll see a series of lights and flashes and deets, and this will be your indication that you've updated that successfully. And then you would be able to go back into your app. Let's pop the app up without me. How about that? With the app, and go in there, and then you'll see that version is there. That's going to be the first step that you're probably going to want to do when you get these drones to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. Let's pop back out, go back into those three dots. Wonderful. All right, just checking real quick to see if there are any warnings. I'm going to go ahead and clear all warnings so I don't have to see them. That's perfect. Okay. That's primarily what you needed to do. Now, if you go into the drone, now at this point you see it says no positioning. However, if we go outside, those satellites will change, and we'll get a connection, and it'll say go to fly, and we'll be able to go. So if you get to this point, take them outside, put them somewhere safe where you won't hurt nobody or they won't get run over, and give it a little bit of time for it to acquire some GPS satellites and see if you can go through the startup process. If you don't, you may have to go back through and look at the unit and do some calibrations. But as of now, that should get you going. That should get you to the point where you are ready to go. And let's pop back one more time just quickly to these things. This is your clip for your phone. So now you're ready to go. This drone is ready to go. And primarily, if you have the remote controls that connect to the Phantoms and they connect properly, there shouldn't be any problem going through this process. If for some reason they don't, there is a different sequence for pairing the remote controls. Just let me know that we need another video to cover how to pair the remote controls, and we can get those paired. But you should be able to do a lot of what you need done from the screen once you get connected, and also with the SD card, putting in the firmware. Okay, so that's step one. Start that, get those going, get as many as you can fixed and running, and then let's start creating a list and problems that we need to solve on the ones that weren't so simple. All right, we will see you later. Happy flying.